Hello fellow academics and welcome back to Beeftorial. There's a lot of stuff we have to do in this episode, so let's try to sort this out quickly. I think it's very important that we start connecting these water sources into our actual water supply. So that is, well, exactly what we're going to be focusing on today. It's not going to be easy because all of this is hard to connect. But I think one way we can try to make good use of what we have is actually try to create an underground connection that will then allow us to connect it all up. Still doing okay overall in terms of food. Not a massive amount of food, but a good amount of food. And as they are still building this corner here up, we have to wait a little bit before we can even consider placing any kind of water-based crops in here. But I think as long as we keep an eye on this, we'll be okay. All right, so in order to actually get over here, what I think we're going to do is have a connection that goes basically through here. And we can already kind of plan for this. Actually, if we do a tunnel, we might be in a bit of a better shape. So we can, well, we need to put tunnels down anyways. So let's see. So first, gonna remove these parts again. Delete this one here too. And then we're going down to the level where we have just placed the tunnels. So that should be a relatively straightforward connection up into our water reservoir over here. And we're just going to connect it up there. Make it actually twice the size, so we have a little bit better water flow overall. And I don't think this should be outside. Nope, all of that is good. So let's have a look over here. We're coming out this way. So that also means we don't need to get quite to that level where I have placed it. Let me actually turn off the water so we see it. If we are simply putting it down to there, actually we can just remove this part and replace it with some dynamite. There we go. And then we just need to have a connection over here. And that is also not too hard to do because we still have this pathway over here in. So stairs down, and actually instead of doing this one, let's just go ahead because we have some additional explosives. We're just gonna connect that up over here. All right. Gonna make sure these are highest priority. While we are getting into a bad tide, I kind of want to have this tunnel at least done before the next normal tide hits. And I don't quite know if we can manage to do so. In order to connect these parts up though, it's getting a little bit trickier. So we had connected this. I should just put some path or something somewhere. So this is where our tunnel will come out. That will become our inflow. So that's already a good starting point. I don't know if we should connect this one up over here. Don't know if it's worth the hassle, to be honest. We could even go one further down and connect it in there, but I think that's a little bit overkill as well. So let's plan for things as they are. All right. We will need a overhang here, and I'm actually just gonna make it the same size as the ones back there. That should allow us to actually not get far enough. So let me remove this again. And instead of overhangs, we could actually just put bridges in. They're a bit cheaper. They do cost only a little bit more of wood and planks And that's kind of the main thing we're really just lacking. So we'll see how this goes. I think more importantly is actually that we get some trees back. You are planting them again. With the bad tide incoming, I don't know if those trees will really survive. Let me turn the water back on just to make sure. We're still filling this up. So not great, but it will kind of do. And let me go ahead actually and high prioritize this part here. So we have this going as soon as it's possible. Let's also already connect these two up over there. Highest priority. That is at least something. All right. Water is still filling up, only 1 day left. So I don't think we'll actually end up with the same amount of water as before. Part of me wants to turn off one of these water pumps, but we're not going to do that yet. We're going to definitely swap you guys out now for bots, and I don't have enough science. So maybe we should swap you out. Ooh, 7,500. We do have enough beavers, so let's up the total amount in here. And then let's see where things are going. Still haven't built this. Too far from the... Oh, I see. Actually, don't have this connected. That makes sense. So let me fix that. Highest priority on that one. The power connection over there is in already. So we can go ahead and put in the next one. Highest priority. You're still on highest priority. The gears are slowly coming in, but the gears need planks, and I wonder where all of our planks are going. Yeah, that might have been, I don't want to call it a mistake, but an interesting choice. I think an interesting choice is a nice way of putting this. Nope. That is the working hours. We want to keep them on 16. Bad tide is about to start. Let's actually have a look. Yeah, still not completely filled up. I guess that kind of makes sense. You're still open. You're still open. I guess the back part here is properly filling up, so that is kind of nice. And then we have this area filling up as well. So once this is in, I think we'll be in much better shape. All right. Bad tide is coming. At least we're producing now more power. I don't know if we're actually producing enough power. Power supply 600. Yeah, not quite yet. Okay, that's already turned into bad tide. This still producing regular water. At least something. I guess technically the overflow here... Oh no, this stopped. So that's now emptying out into this one. Alright. Not great, but I think we will be okay. I'm surprised there's not more power being produced over here. 27-day drought. Ooh, rough. But I think we'll manage to, do something. I hope. Alright. Where was I? So we are putting in dynamite down here and kind of need to keep track of this a little bit first. In the beginning, once we're at our tunnels, the rest should be pretty easy, pretty quickly done by them automatically, because the tunnels just explode as soon as they put this in. So that is good to know. All right. More bad water coming in. Power production has gone up. And I guess it will keep going up as more and more bad water is flowing out this way. So that's at least something. Let's have another look down here. 2 more dynamite pieces in. And now they should be able to connect this through here appropriately. All right. So if this is where our tunnel comes out, what we really want to do is put in, I guess, if we turn these into tunnels, we have platforms on top, so we can actually put in impermeable floors instead of levees. Makes me wonder if we should actually dig out a tunnel here. Not a tunnel, like a ditch. I mean, let's try to think this through. And like I said, I think I've mentioned this a ton of times before. I was thinking we were done with all of this. Obviously not. So, do I need to leave a gap? I don't think so. So we're gonna have a bad water outlet here. So you should close above down a contamination, below a contamination of 2%. I guess we could also set it to 1%. So this is going in there. Then we will need to put in levees. I guess technically just here and here. Then we can have another sluice on this side. And we can build a outlet over this way. So double ones here, double ones there. I guess we can even triple that over this way, which won't be too bad. Gonna remove this one. Actually, if we do that slightly differently, and I know I keep saying that every single time, what I've learned from our past explorations is that it's a lot better to have a single area where you kind of change what is flowing out where. So if we put this one here, and then we can even put another one right next to it, followed by 2 that go kind of in this direction, which makes me think. Let's have a quick look. Okay, we're actually a little bit further back, so that is nice. So we want to put in dynamite right here. And actually, to make this a proper outlet, we need another piece of dynamite there. So then we can sort of seal all of this off and have it come or flow in this direction. Bad water goes out this way. If it's good water, it flows in over here. So I think that's not too bad. Right, we need single platforms along this way and a overhang right there. So let's do that. And because we are short on well, kind of everything, we're going to build impermeable floors on top, because one thing that we're not quite short of is metal blocks. So that is good. All right, doing that right there. I think these should remain double. And then we go back down to single blocks. This should be another double, actually. And then we can go into single blocks and connect all of this up. All right, I'm hoping this will be a bit smoother than all the previous pipe builds. And hopefully also this will be the last one that we need to do. Well, it's the last water source, so it has to be the last one. All right. Now, in order to close you off, what we will need to do is put we could put a levee here, or actually a overhang So overhang here. This can be removed. And then we can put a levee in there and there, which can then be followed by platforms over this way. So that should be plenty of space to let out bits and pieces. So in the long run, we want to move all the way over here. But in the short term, it'd be nice to start building all of this. So I am thinking we're actually putting in 2 sluices over this way. And then just seal this part off. Let's see. All of this should be single platforms, 1 more levee, not dam, 1 more levee here. And then the rest can actually be, again, impermeable floors. All right, to get over there, what we can do is remove this single platform here and then put in the largest overhang that we have, because that will get us as far as we can possibly go. Now there are a couple of sides. It's kind of, well, maybe not perfectly placed, but it's one on this side, which is good. We can reach one over here. But overall, we need to build more in this direction. So we will put in another overhang. This needs to be a free overhang right there. And then we can move along with, again, longer overhangs in this direction until we're basically all the way at the end. And this might be a bit overkill in terms of distance, but I think it will be okay. So, question would be, how do we actually get over it this way? So maybe instead of doing it like that, let me actually remove this. Now that's actually a good approach, because we can go ahead and put in overhangs in this direction. 1, 2. So one would need to go here. That one is too long. So triple overhang will be plenty. So that's down here. That could still be reached. This cannot be reached. It needs to go here. So there we go. 1, 2. Another one needs to go here. 1, 2. Another one needs to go here. 1, 2. One here. And then again, to be on the safe side, this is actually sticking out one more. So that was a triple, quadruple. Here we go. All right. Now, in order to get up here, we will need a staircase here, here. Then technically one here and one here. And the rest needs to be built either with planks or wood. Do we have anything else that can do the trick for us? I guess we could put small warehouses in to use less wood. I don't like using these because it's a little bit of cheating. Yeah. So let's stick with the single platforms. There we go. All of this now just needs to be connected up with paths. And once this is built, we can actually, again, remove it. And hopefully we'll be better off with those 2 water sources kind of connected in there. They probably have built some of the tunnels. Kind of. What happened to this part? Oh, that makes sense. What are you missing? You're missing planks. And we're missing the same stuff over and over again. All right. Need to set these to be chopped down. We definitely need more trees. And overall, this is just not looking that good. So let's work a little bit on making sure our trees have more time to grow. And there's a couple of things that we can actually do. I've just recently done this in the leaf code game. If you haven't checked it out, please go ahead and do so, where we actually create a channel along the outside here that might be able to keep a little bit more water in. So, but we want it to be kind of big enough, I guess. So let's actually just remove these again. There we go. Which means I want to just go out a little bit further. We are getting more dirt right now, so that's at least something. Which means ultimately that should be easier to kind of deal with. We do have an outlet here that we can actually block off if we want to. So not bad overall. Oop. And yeah, just gonna do that all around because it's just kind of what we do. Oh, what we could actually do is use dirt on the other side as well instead of levees. I like that. It will save a ton of material. Awesome. All right, what are my beavers actually doing right now? So they are filling this up. I'd rather them focus on these parts though. Because like I said, I would love to get this done before the next regular season kind of hits. And it will take them a while because for usual, we're just out of wood. Still producing wood over here, so at least there's something. But it's not a lot that we're actually producing. Food-wise, we're still doing good. Water-wise, we're doing okay. Turn the water back on. Looking alright, not great, but alright. How's this coming along? 15 more gears, and then we get a little bit more water over there as well. That is nice. And what do our tunnels look like? Should actually also set then our tunnels to a high priority. Because if our tunnels aren't done, then yeah, the other side is kind of pointless. There we go. Tunnels need planks as well though. So yeah, just what it is. All right, here we go. Kind of glad I got to play video games at the end of the day. It's a good way to relax. It's also, I guess, the reason why this channel is called Academic Unwinds. actually doing a pretty good job getting over here. Also with the tunnels. How's this stuff coming along? Already put in one of these. Why aren't you also looking for planks? I guess they are currently building these tunnels first, which is, well, kind of what I asked for. So can't complain about that. In order to have a connection through here, what we can do, we'll try to be working mostly with terrain blocks wherever we can. So if we put it up here, we should be able to, and I can actually put another one over here. All we need to do then is, I guess we could put in a double platform there. Or triple ones. I think those are technically fine. Leave a little bit more space for our beavers to get through there. Making sure these are fully connected up. And that makes me think. Go down here. I've set you to the highest priority, and I really should stop setting everything to the maximum priority. One level below, much better. Because then I can prioritize something like this. And still get stuff done, basically. All right. This is gonna be a super boring episode. It's another session of us just prepping things. All right, we do have a couple more bots to do some work for us. I guess can throw you in the plank production. And maybe we'll actually put all the bots in here for wood chopping. And then 500 science for the forester. Let's do those as well. Putting 2 of you back onto beaver duty. All right. But things are coming along. They are building all of this, so that is something. You should close above contamination of 5%. That is correct, right? Do I even want to close this up? Yeah, I do. The nice thing with these is I can open them up whenever I need to open them up, so we'll definitely leave those in. Oh, look at that. They've almost finished building this as well. Good reach. Oh, hold on. Don't need the top piece, because we're gonna keep building down this way. All right, to here. And then we can go all the way over there. Would it? Oh, shoot. I don't want to pause. We could technically just go from here down there. Now that I put in all that dirt, I'm going to remove it all. So, there we go. All right. Do this again. Now in this direction, though. Okay, we need to stop over here, which means... almost, but not quite. Apparently I forgot one right there. Oh, hold on. I don't need the top piece here, because now we can reach it from this side. There we go. That's looking much better. And that allows us to actually get down here while still building all of this up. And then we can seal it off over here. All right, let's make sure all of this is high prioritized as well, because it would be nice to store some additional water closer to our trees over here, so they actually get cut down or have time to grow, and then can be cut down. Well, really struggling with my words. All right. Regardless, still short on this. We do have a few planks in there. There's at least that. And then water comes in here. So I guess what we will do first is actually close this off to one side. We can open this up later to have a secondary flow in the other direction. And I might just... Almost there. Almost there. Like I said, most boring episode yet. But you guys are here for it, so thank you. And there we go. Need to make sure we actually get over here. So let's delete this. And then make sure all of these are also set. And I'm actually gonna set you guys to the highest priority. Because I want to have this done, so this tree area should be able to grow throughout the entire next season. Is this in? This is in. It is not connected with power though, so let's quickly fix that. Guess I didn't need to put in all 3 connectors, but you know, it's alright. Alright, that shouldn't take too long though. There we go, and now it is pumping. We're just about supplying what we need without the large windmills actually turning. So we definitely need more gravity batteries in the long run. But you know, long run problems, I guess. Slightly higher priority on these. Although I don't think you guys will get to it. But I am hoping you can build all of our channel up here. And then we should let some water... what would be the best way of doing this? Actually, maybe a single floodgate so we can control the height. Might not be a bad idea. So let's put the high priority on that as well. Can my lumberjacks, they can't actually reach this. I guess that makes sense because they're technically not supposed to cut these down. But we're doing better over here in terms of wood now. It is growing back in, so that is really nice. We should also actually high prioritize this one. And then plant a few more oaks down here. Because they should easily be able to reach down there. Also makes me think would probably be a good call. Can we easily get down here? I guess we could do that. Put a staircase back up here. I guess one more down there. If we set these to the highest priority as well. It's good that this is in now. Let's go ahead actually and put another staircase down here. They should also be... This is too far from the district center. Okay. You also only make it to here. I guess that's okay. Don't know if it was quite worth it for like 6 trees. But you'll be able to reach a lot more. So that is good. Let's go ahead and already plan all of these trees. I think maybe like this. Yeah. Doesn't show me the path anymore. Anyways, it is coming along here. They're also building all of this up ever slowly. 4,000 science, yes please. I forgot where the bots are gonna go away from. Over here, that is fine. Because we need more dirt, and we're a little bit short on it. Not a little bit, we're very short on it. So I think that will overall help. Look at how much power supply we have once the windmills turn on. It's crazy. Anyways, we're getting there. I'm glad the water is pumping in here, which means we will have a bit of water supply down there. And that should be on the same height as the stuff over this way, so this should just fill up until it's all sorted. Food's still doing good. Water has gone a little bit down, but not really, to be honest. So nothing to worry there. And I think overall we're doing just fine. All right, with that, I'm actually going to end this episode right now. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.